Hey, it's Mark Lanier with your video thought for the day. Well, this has been Tool Week, and I'm bringing it to a close. The problem with Tool Week is I've been on the road this week, and you can tell this morning I'm not at home. That's not the view out my bedroom window. I am still on the road, which makes it kind of tough to do Tool Week because you don't exactly have a lot of tools in the normal sense of the word in a hotel room. You know, I thought about getting a saw so that I could, talk about the way things cut, but I don't have a saw in the hotel room. I thought I could get a wrench and talk about how things get twisted into place, but I don't have a wrench. If I had a hammer, I'd hammer in the morning. Sorry, bad song. So I want to do tool day, but I don't have those tools. But I do happen to have one of my favorite tools. It's in every hotel room you can think of. What is it? The remote control for the TV. It's a tool. It allows me to turn on the TV. It allows me to change the channels. I've tried it on my wife at home. It doesn't really work on her. I've tried to hit, the mute button. I did not make that joke just now. She'd be having to mute me, not the other way around. But it's a remote control. It's a tool to help us do things. And I like it because it's one that I have a tendency to try to use in my life in more ways than a joke. I like to be in control. I like, it may not shock any of you who know me, but I can be a control freak. I like things in their place, and I like things at the right time, and I like things in order, and it's just part of the way my brain works. But there's an issue here when it comes to living your life before God. Proverbs 16:9 says it this way, that a person devises their plans in their mind, but God's the one who directs their steps. I might like to think I'm in control. And to a certain degree, I am. God hasn't made me a puppet. I get to make choices. But when all is said and done, this world is vibrating to a frequency that is not Mark Lanier. This world is spinning to an end that is not designed by Mark Lanier. This world is not a world that revolves around Mark Lanier. This is a world that's been planned and thought out and put in place by no one other than God himself. And so God is the one who's ultimately in control. Now, when I was in college, we were studying different philosophical approaches to life, both within and without Christian faith. One of the approaches was something that's been called historically Quietism. And Quietism came into, especially Christianity, with the idea that, hey, since God is in control, we don't need to do anything at all. We can just kick back and ride in the back seat and let him do all the driving. Well, that's not a biblical concept. Excuse me. The Bible does not teach that God's in control so humanity does nothing. The Bible teaches that we are to try and seek the will of God, try to do the will of God, try to be what God wants us to be, do what God wants us to do. But within the framework of that, always recognize that God is in control. So we can devise our plans, like Proverbs 16:9 says, in our heart. We can use our remote control and decide what channels we want to watch and where we want the volume. But ultimately, we're not the ones in control. God is. And what's the old saying? Man makes plans and God laughs. It's truer than we think. And so my thought going into this weekend is, I'm going to walk and try and do my best to be godly and to make good decisions and to find his will in things. But I'm also going to recognize that he's in control, I'm not. And when his plans are different than my own, I'm going to try to orchestrate my life to be on his schedule with his plans and not try to bend God to mine. I know for a fact I can't use this remote control on God, but I want him to be able to give me direction for my life and you for yours. And that's your video thought for the day.